I knew I had to change. I knew I had to let it go. And now I found a better way to wash the ego pain away. And then I found the words to say, I am divine. I am divine. It's always been there. It will never go away. I am divine. I feel so free, remember every day, the moment all the pain was washed away. I shine so bright now, and I want everyone to know. You've got this living deep inside you too, and it's so easy just to feel brand new. Commit surrender to your divinity within. And then you'll see a better way. Things you don't need will fall away. Your eyes will open and you'll say, I am divine. I am divine. It's always been there. It will never go away. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine.
Hello, greetings, divine beings. Jamie, the link you sent out today is not working. I found an old link. Okay. Okay. Well, we will sort that out. Whoever's meant to be here is meant to be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust you all are feeling amazing from our session. It was last evening for you guys, this morning for us. Good to see you all. Amy S, Amy Ting, Dan, Gareth, LK. I'm not sure who WH is. Marty, Michael. Who's MH? Oh, NH. Oh, no, it's M. Nilette, Shannon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here with you all. It's been an interesting day. Very, very interesting. Oh, and we got Stefan as well. Good to have you all. How are you guys feeling? How's the day, or how was last night, and then integrating, and then waking up this morning? Did everyone do their divine focus? Here comes Gilbert. Yes. Awesome. So I'm assuming you guys are just feeling ineffable. I was actually on my way here. I had an investor meeting for my other company, and I was doing my divine focus in the car. And I was like, you know, I never really planned, we never plan anything that we're going to talk about here. And yeah, it was it just naturally just flows. And I was like, what do I talk about today? Because Jamie basically hasn't slept for I don't know how long. It's been the last it's been a crazy last couple of days with Island Buena Vista, and then he stayed up this morning, stayed up all day. And so he's like, hey, can you cover for me? And so I was like, what do I talk about? And so the thing that came up for me as I was coming here is putting divinity first. And that's literally what we've been doing since we started this. And we've rebranded from Incomation to I Am Divinity. You know, we've been sacrificing sleep. We've been sacrificing, you know, just time from family. I haven't talked to my mom in I don't know how long. She's been asking me to come back to the States for a while, and I haven't even been able to even give her a call because around this time is whenever she's getting up, going to work, and so on and so forth. And so it's like, you know, and it's not really a sacrifice, really. It's just putting divinity number one. And you know, I had to tell myself that because I actually had an investor meeting for my other company. And that meeting actually got in the way of another meeting we were supposed to do today for our marketing team with I Am Divinity. And so I had to remind myself that, hey, like, you know, this is number one. And so, you know, there is no negotiating with divinity. It's like you either are or you're not. And so we're really excited to, you know, get everything rolling. We've promised you guys some of the, you know, the marketing stuff is the website's done. Actually, do you have the screen recording, Will? I'm going to show them the screen recording today of the new website. But before I show you that, I just want to, you know, for all the new people that are here, I think we have a couple of new people. Maybe you don't know what we're talking about. You're like, who the heck is this guy in the pink and purple jacket? We're not a cult, although people would definitely have called us that. Oh, did it go out? Sorry, technical difficulties. Putting divinity first went a longer journey when taking financial. Okay. We good? Cool. It's good. Yeah, it's on. Off and on. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hey, Powell. Okay, awesome. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So Michael just asked, putting divinity first, when along your journey, when are we ready to partake on the financial piece? So that's a good question. We'll talk about that today. I'm going to show you guys what we have ready for the marketing and the affiliate stuff that we have going for you guys, so you guys can start, you know, referring people, earning yourself some income just by really being in your divinity. I was talking to Jamie today. I was like, you know, because I've been in, you know, the industry for like over a decade, and it was funny because we never actually did any live streams. I never did any live calls ever. It was never like a daily thing. We would always have like maybe a weekly meeting or something, and it was all about motivation. And we'd have to hoorah, you know, we'd have to hype people up, and then by the next week they were already on a low. We had to bring them up to a high, get them motivated about the next product that we were selling or whatever. But the beautiful thing is like, for example, a good example of someone that's just been in alignment with the mission and it's just been naturally referring people is Gilbert. Like every other day, he's telling me like, hey, a new person joined the team, another person joined the team, another person joined the team, because he's walking in his divinity and people feel it. And they're like, yo, like I want some of what you're on. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about the financial piece for you guys. It's going to be honestly a cakewalk whenever you're starting to build and refer out for the community we've built. But going back to my point, if you've been looking for something, if you've been looking for a home, if you've been searching for an answer, which is interesting because I had a buddy of mine, he's like, dude, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. Like I've been doing all of these different things
And I just don't know. Everything seems so, there's so many opportunities, but I just don't feel like I'm in alignment with anything. And so I told him, like, once you get into your divinity, it all is going to line up. And that's what we're doing here at I Am Divinity. We're helping you create the freedom within. And once you do that, all of the different things, all the different pieces, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationships, they're all going to line up for you. And so if you've been searching for something, I just want you to know that your search is over.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith. That's Don with 2 N's. And I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself? Instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second, you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you've had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. The same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called IAMDIVINITY. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free, free to be you, free to be who you truly are. And those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
Awesome. So if that was your first time watching this video, which I know most people have been tuning in to these live streams daily, I just want to remind you all of what our true mission is. And that's to raise humanity's consciousness to a level where there is no pain, there is no wars, there is no greed, right? It's just pure bliss, and we're all we're all in this state, right? And it doesn't take a bunch of people. It only takes 114. And, you know, Don's been working on some new stuff, so maybe not even that, right? So, you know, and I just want to share a little bit with you guys. I'm 30 years of age. Don would say forever young. And that's actually been my answer every single time someone's been asking me. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 12 years, but I realized since I've been here for it's been about 5 weeks now. I was traveling actually before this for the last 8 months around Southeast Asia, and I got an invitation to come here to the Philippines where we're stationed. Well, I realized that all of the things that I was doing and trying to, you know, kind of force, it was coming from a place of lack and trying to prove myself. And the reason why was because just like all of us, no matter if you had a really crazy childhood where you faced crazy physical abuse like I did, or even if like you were riding a bike and you fell off and you know, had a trauma, that is stuck in our nervous system. Well, for me, you know, you probably heard my story. Like I had gone through crazy physical abuse, starting at the age of like 3 months and even further in the womb, which I'll share later. I was constantly trying to prove myself to my father through all of the different businesses and whatnot. And what would happen is I would build it up to a certain point, right? I would go up, and then eventually it would crash. And the reason why we've set up the business this way is because instead of having for you guys to constantly try to build it and then it's not sustainable, when you start operating from this level, it's just smooth sailing. And so we set everything up in a way where you can actually operate from a place of power rather than force, which that if you don't know where that comes from, it's from Dr. Robert Hawkins. He wrote the book Power versus Force. And the higher levels of consciousness above 400 or 500 is where you're actually operating from a level of power. And maybe you want to pull that up really quick. So David Robert Hawkins. So yeah, I'm going to have the chart here shortly so you guys can get a visual on what we're talking about. So as you see here, once you're above the 400, 500, you start operating from a place of power. And the lower, I mean, I would even say maybe like 400 or something, but it starts to become way more effortless. Like all of the right people, all of the right circumstances, everything just starts to fall into place, and you're not having to force things the way that you once have. Maybe some of you on the call have been doing different programs for so many years, and you're like, why am I not getting success? Well, the reason why is because every time you try to do something different, you start operating back from these old programs, these old belief systems. But we're not operating from beliefs. We're operating from a knowing. And that's what this is all about. It's instead of operating from, you know, the negative beliefs, the positive beliefs, like, okay, I'm not worthy, to I am worthy. We're no longer operating from there. We're operating from a complete knowing of who we are. And we already know that all of the things that are meant for us will come. And so I'm just super grateful that we have created this community, and it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the work of our Chief Divinity Officer. I'm sure you've probably never heard that term before. And that's Mr. Don Smith. He's taken the last 44 years to work on himself first, to figure out all the different pieces as to why he was the way he was, and to figure out who he truly was. And he's given this work to so many different people. Can we get the color chart divinity levels posted in the chat or in the community somewhere? If not, yeah, we'll do that. No worries. So yeah, Don's basically worked with some of the elite billionaires, 15 Olympic professional athletes in different industries. He's worked with, I mean, just the top of the top people, and now he's given us this gift to all of you guys, and he exclusively worked with us. So, in the chat, yeah, okay, cool. With that being said, I'm gonna allow Don to come up here so you guys can experience him, and then later on we'll talk about all of the other financial pieces and whatnot. So Don.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good morning for you. I'm a little bit tired from what's been happening here. It's really intense doing the transformation, and it was amazing. It was amazing this morning, my time, evening yours, that there was, I think it was 84 or 87 or something like that on the call. Was it 87? So congrats on that for sure. And what this is truly about is unraveling and unpacking all of the programs and patterns and beliefs, like was said, and strip it all down to the knowing of who we truly are, and that's it. And I use the analogy of the color of our eyes. And this chart that is on here, that is what I'm here for. And Jamie was the first one to come on board to say, I want to be beside you, Don, doing this. And now Sam and others are just joining this community to raise humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. And it was stated that it requires 114. Sorry, I don't do memory and that, so I have great difficulty with detail. And so 114 people at 700 or higher. And so that's what I thought, oh, Don, you're a little bit egotistical here, aren't you? Like, seriously. And of course, that was my ego working away overtime, trying to get me to question myself. And Dr. Hawkins that Jamie mentioned, he has a muscle testing to see if we're telling the truth. And so I've been by myself a lot, like I'm, a lot. And what I did was I would get a like one of those 4 or 6 liter bottles of water, and I would have it like on a chair, and I would ask a question. Is this true? Is this a truth? Is what I'm saying, this statement, that I'm here to raise humanity's consciousness above 700? And I would, so I'm talking about a big bottle, okay? Well, I'll use my water bottle here as a metaphor. And I would go like this. I would go to lift it up. And I would lift with one finger, actually, one finger. I'd go to lift it up. And if it was a no, like I literally couldn't lift it off the chair. And then I would ask the question, is this true? Is this true? And that's what I'm here for. And it's like one finger. And that's how it was a double-blind test to test me, that I wasn't this ego, you know, being on an ego trip to do this. No, it was actually that it's been a calling for a long while now. And so that is what I'm here for, and I'm really excited. We did have at one time, I think it was 14. It was 14 people, but half of them were in and out, in and out, in and out. And so those of you that had your transformation today, this morning for me, evening for you, there's a major shift instantly. There's a major shift, and what that shift is, if you look at this chart, many of you were at 200 or less when you started this process. When you start listening to these videos, listening to our conversations and whatever, that's where you were, and now you're climbing. But this transformation that you had today, that transformation is that's what happens. It's instant. When I do that double sound technique that I created, that it shocks the system. It just shocks, and boom, up it goes. And so now your job is to hold it. And the biggest thing about this is the ego wants to be back in charge. And it's going to do everything it possibly can to get you out of your light, because it's darkness. And it does not want you to be in your light, because it doesn't have control over you. It doesn't have you second guessing, doesn't have you doubting, doesn't have you going weak. All of that, you know, it's not there. Those things are not there. And you can, and there, for those of you that took the process, that double sound technique is that boom, boom, but it's that waking up. As soon as you wake up, preferably before you go to the bathroom, you do what I call divine focus. And what's divine focus is for those of you that took the process and you saw and you experienced how gigantic your heart chakra was, how gigantic it was, how gigantic your worth was, how invincible you felt, and how free you were. Well, I'm guessing that most of you, if not all of you, it was immeasurable. It was literally immeasurable. You know, I don't usually say things to people that are not around me, because it's like, it doesn't make sense. It's way out there, and who in the hell is that guy, and whatever. But the massive size that I experience, now it's all the time, but before it used to be, I would access it, and you know, and then I'd get busy at this and that and the other thing, and forget about it. And the next thing I know, the ego is around, kicking around, and you know, trying to get me to doubt and try to get me to second guess, and you know, playing the 3D card, the 3D card, when we're 7D, 7 plus. And the great news, the mathematical news is this: we need 114 at 700 plus. And we don't have to worry about stopping wars. We don't have to worry about eliminating starvation. We don't have to worry about murder and all those kind of things, all whatevers, because it does, all that happens is when you raise your consciousness, the things around you don't happen. That did happen before. They don't. Like that was an absolute war zone that I grew up in. I'm serious. The only thing missing was guns, but there was knives and like there was all of this and fist fights and yeah, it was crazy. And so, you know, when the starvation, you know, you see these here in the Philippines and I'll see these people with like no money and no food and begging for, you know, way bigger than in the States or in Canada, begging and whatever. And all of that would be gone. I remember, gosh, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, I had watched a documentary and there was this guy that was just so evil. And it was him that had started, he had this big group of guys, people, and to just completely control humanity. And I said, no effing way. And I realized that that wasn't the way. I don't think I ever would have heard Christ or God or Buddha or whoever your God is say something like that. And then I realized, no, Don, your ego, you're not going after it. It's your divinity. And that's not how it's going to handle this. And so, you know, getting that humble pie and getting me back on track with my divinity. And how I know that is like I mentioned one story yesterday of this. I was looking for a dirt bike and I walked into I got out of my vehicle and I was walking into this store where these dirt bikes were, and there was 5 women. They were all Filipino, and they were walking out, and the one on the far right, she's a little baby. I'm guessing about 2 months. She did tell me, but I can't. Once again, detail is not my thing right now. And she come up to me and says, my daughter has been looking at you since you got out of your vehicle. That she has not stopped looking at you. Would you like to hold her? And here she gave me her 2-month-old to hold. And we chatted there for about 15 minutes. And here's this little one in my arm. And that happens all the time. There's a community where my Filipino wife and there's kids there like, you know, 2 and 3 and 5 and 9 and 10. And they all come and give me a big hug and say, you know, wish me a wonderful day. And these little ones, this 2-year-old one, or 2-year young, sorry. And when I first got there, she was terrified of me. She wouldn't even look at me. She would run away. And then just one day, she said, oh, and they call me Daddy. Daddy, and she'd come and give me a big hug. And it's like, so they're not threatened. They can see the light. They can see your light. They can see it. And many people ask me, well, what age are you? How old are you? Well, I don't do age, sorry. And no, seriously, like seriously, what age are you? I told you I don't do age. No, come on, could you just tell me? I said, yeah, okay, forever young. That's what I am, forever young. Because listen to this. If you listen to words, good morning, morning. I don't mourn people. I'm not mourning people. And we need to watch our language now, right? Watch our language. So I'm forever young. And it's okay to say it in a Filipino language, Mayang Batag, or what Mayang Gabi, or whatever those are, or Iolafas, or where the word morning isn't in there. But I don't do that, and nor do I measure age. And I'll tell you a little story. There was 10 of us in the family, and there was at one, like there was 3 girls, and then me, and then my brother, and there was 10. But I'll just tell you that many. And his name was David. And for 30 years, he was sick, and he was on 24 to 30 pills a day. A day. I had asked him, he lived on Prince Edward Island, which is far east Canada. And I would go home every once in a while from Calgary or Vancouver or where I was from. The last 20 years was Vancouver. And I asked him once, you know, hey, David, you know, because he was on a cane. Like, yeah, that's one example. There's one example I was saying, and I was just having a conversation with him. I said, I do boulder jogging. What the hell's boulder jogging? And that's, okay, that's like these big boulders all around piers. And I jog on them. And holy Jesus, I can't even walk across the kitchen floor without a cane. And he's a year and a half younger. He was a year and a half younger. So he died 2 years ago. And he went all that time in pain, on medication. And in that same number of years, 30, I was sick one day. And that one day was Rosie and I and her son and 2 sons and daughter and her daughter's husband were in Koh Phi Phi in Thailand. And it was the night before the tsunami. And that night I was throwing up and sitting on the toilet, and it was like everything was just going through me. And I didn't know that I was picking up the energy of the tsunami. And to just give you an idea how close we were, I had gone down to the village at Koh Phi Phi. They didn't have, at that time anyway, I don't know what they have now, no phones. You had to call, and from a landline. And anyway, so I walked down to the village to make my call home to my daughter and my grandkids on PEI. And I come back at 20 after 10. And we're just lying on the beach, just staggeringly beautiful beach. And Rosie said, you know, Don, we had a lot of sun. Yesterday we climbed a big rock face, and we were in the sun, and that was our first day in Thailand. And we just had too much sun, and we need to let's go up to our cabin. And so the cabins were, one was on the beach level, then there was another one, you know, like 10 feet up or 15, and then another level 15 up from that. And she said at 25 after 10, let's go up to the cabin and get out of the sun. So we left the beach at 25 after 10, and the tsunami at 10:45 took the whole beach. Everywhere we were, the cabins, the whole office, there was boats up on the beach, and there was deep freezes, and everything out in the ocean. Yeah, we missed it by 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And so you know, just that whole being in that energy of in our light, and to read those kind of things, and so this whole thing with David, and he would have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with anything I was doing, which was unfortunate. So a year and a half younger. And when I was 17, I was just leaving home. No one could tell us apart. I mean, yes, family could, but no one could tell us apart other than that. Same color eyes, same color hair, same height, all of that. No one could tell us apart. That's how close we were. And yet, he was using alcohol and whatever else, and never did anything, never looked at himself. And that's why I said, David, I got some work to clean that stuff up. Get away from me with that voodoo bullshit. Okay, David, your call, bud, your call. So in 30 years, he was on a cane, he was on crutches, all of that kind of thing. And I was sick that one night. That was it. And then just on another thing on that, on the health, what happened was my son David, Trevor, dead. Like, you got to go to the doctor. You got to go and get tests. Like you never go to a doctor. And okay, Trevor. Okay, I'll go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, did all these tests, come back, normal. There was nothing. And that was after 20 years of not going to a doctor. And so, yeah. So there is a way of life and a way of living that is much different when we're in our divinity and when our light. And what this is about is recognizing that we are divine. And you, the darkest, the most evil on the planet, have a divine state. Yeah, it's divine. It just gets covered up with layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of belief systems about who we think we are. It's never who we are, it's who we think we are. That's the difference. And so those of you that took the process this morning here, last night there for most of you, is getting to see that. And what it's about is recognizing it, listening to our language, and noticing these, like downloads of energy, and being activating our intuition, and we just intuitively know where to go and what to do, and what's best for us. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the other, nice, crazy. And then the other one is how different I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, I'm not sure, but when I was in Dubai for 3 months, Jamie and I used to go to the Dubai Mall. Now, the Dubai Mall is quoted as being the largest mall in the world. The largest in the world. And I would get dressed up just like this. And it was pink or purple, always pink or purple. And I would walk, and it would be a minimum of 500 people have a conversation with me a day. Yeah, they'd just come up and say, like, who are you? Like, where are you from? like, and you know, and then they would, and many of them, many would have me holding their babies while we're talking, while we're having a chat. Yeah, and like, and many just waiting for me to walk by their store so they could all come out and have this conversation. Complete strangers. So what is that? What is that? That they're not threatened by a stranger, that they're going to be robbed, or they're going to be raped, or they're going to be whatever. Instead, would you like to hold my baby? Or as their child come, leave their hand and come over and hold mine. Like, that's our light. And those of you that took the process, as recent 12 hours ago, that's what's going to happen if it hasn't already happened. Isn't that awesome? That your light is that bright, that kids can recognize it and are attracted to it. Because they intuitively know they're completely and totally safe and that they're one with us. Yeah, isn't that exciting? And I remember one guy said, yeah, Don, I noticed that you come to this mall a lot. He said, I just want to let you know that you're raising the consciousness of the whole mall. Just so you know that. Like, and I'm thinking, how does that guy even know this? You know, like, but that's how the 114 comes in. To raise humanity to 700. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. And most of you, if not all of you, that took the process, that was part of that. It was automatic. And it was automatic. That's what happens when we go from, you know, there's a few on the call that I remember. Marty, you're there. I saw your name there, Marty, one place. And, you know, where Marty was when he showed up, when we were in Vancouver. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was Vancouver, I think, Marty. And then, and he just, like, it was like, wow. And then he gave it up. And then I had to go after him and nail him again. And then he held it for quite a while after that. And so this is not about perfection, even though you are perfect. I'm talking about the perfection of holding your vibration. And the way to do it is divine focus. And what is divine focus? Very important. Is when you were completed your process today, yesterday, whatever way it is time-wise, okay? I'm just gonna talk about it for me, okay? So this morning. And you were in this, you cleared everything out and went like that, and everything was gone. Remember Tiffany with all those things that she tried to do to overcome her, what was it? Are you there, Tiffany? Insecurity. And then and then I asked her at the end. She had it all this time, took all these programs, tried to get rid of it, and it was gone. It was gone today. It's gone, all gone. And so that's how it works. It's like, it's the core of who we are, and our beliefs are who we think we are. And they're made up of beliefs, both negative and positive. Only the divinity is who we truly are. It's like the color of our eyes. It really is. And so, isn't that awesome? For those of you that have experienced it already, to have that experience of who you truly are. And now you're on the holding and this divine focus. So just for those of you that took it, and I'll reiterate on what that is you go to your most powerful bright light state, your divinity. And the ego is going to be chattering. It's going to be doing everything it can to get your attention, to get you distracted, to have negative things happen. It's going to do all of that. It's going to try to get you to look at the negative, whatever, to get you away from you being in your light. That's what it's going to do. I'll guarantee you that's what it's going to do. But it's very simple. Take your thumb, first finger, right hand, thumb, little finger, left hand, link them together, access this state, and say, I am. And you're here. And then you do this. You just turn around with the ego behind and its stories. Because it'll have stories, it'll have anything. Because it wants to stay alive and it doesn't give one sweet F about you. Doesn't care about you. All it's using is using you as a container to spread itself. Okay? So whether you live or die, doesn't matter to it. And it's an it. It's not your ego. It's the ego. The. And you were without it this morning. It was gone. And for some of you, it's still gone. And it can stay gone by you being in your divine focus. You just, even for seconds, you turn around, link your fingers, say, I am. And in that I am, is you coming back into your heart chakra being massive, your worth being who you truly are, not your accomplishments and achievements. And that sense of invincibility, like those stories I was telling you about extraterrestrials and that, like the ETs, like all of those stories and all the things that I have done. Well, those are in line for you. I'm not special. There's nothing about me that's any different than you. Okay, it's the same thing. We are this divine being. And I just got woken up from my mine was gradual. I quit smoking 49 years ago on New Year's Eve. And then 5 years later, 44 years ago, I quit drinking. And so it was over a period of time that I started to get here step by step. And spent, I can't remember, 10 years or so in Alcoholics Anonymous and took all these programs, Tony Robbins, and I can't remember them all actually. And but each one of them was a piece. But I didn't realize that they were the externally referenced system. I didn't know that. And so I kept experimenting, and why didn't it hold, and how come it's still there, and whatever. And because I was shifting from negative beliefs to positive beliefs. And I took trainings, like I took reality therapy, choice theory, got its certification and teaching level in it, and master's level in neuro-linguistic programming. And they were very, very powerful, especially the neuro-linguistic programming. And but I still had this going on. And that's when finding this, oh, it's who we truly are. It really is. And just one sec, just one of my bag here. get something. So here's my business card. And on it, it says, our knowing is who we truly are. Our negative and positive beliefs are who we think we are. That's what that is. Okay? That's what that is. And in the front, it is transforming to who we truly are. That's what it's about. Okay? And it's all inside you. And I'm going to say something for those of you that didn't have your experience today. That, and for some of you may have not been able to get it, but there is always a minimum of one single event, a minimum of one single event of who you truly are. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. No matter what age, no matter what you went through, whether you're a prostitute and whether you were a bank robber, like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whether you sat at home and raised your kids or whatever. It doesn't matter. There will always be at least one experience that God sees fit for you to experience who you truly are. Okay? And you're here to hold that. That's what it's about. And you had that experience, for those of you that took it this morning. You had that experience. Like Tiffany. All of her programs were gone. Boom. Now, if any didn't come back, it's because the ego tricked her. The ego tricked her. Now, most can, get a week, a month, whatever. But for some, it attacks right away. And all you do is that divine focus, and you turn your back. Here's all the ego stuff that's going on, telling you you're not good enough and you don't deserve this and whatever. And you just turn around, recall this event, recall the event this morning, how bright you were, how large your heart chakra was, how large your worth was, how invincible you feel, and this freedom that you have. And link your thumb and first finger and your thumb left finger together like a chain link fence and say, I am. And there you are. It has no defense. It has no defense against you. Isn't that exciting? That's how powerful you are. And so, once again, 114 to 700 and above. And we got it. Coming back to what I was saying, that guy that was the definition of pure evil. I took my complete focus off, and I just sent pure light. I just sent pure light to his heart energy, instead of me going after him and saying, I'm going to find a way to take you down. And I am doing that, but from a perspective of a God energy, and just sending that. And so, anyway, there it is. I trust that is of assistance to you, for those of you that took the process. And for those of you that haven't, stick around, and we'll see what happens. And it was truly beautiful to take everyone through today. It really was. It was Jamie and I had talked, and he had seen me do quite a few. And he said it's by far the best one I had done. And it's awesome. Because what that means is it's like the light was so much brighter. So much brighter. And I encourage you to think about Forever Young. You know, I've done some things in the last couple of months, and there's a few people in the room here that said, you look younger than yesterday, Dawn. Just yesterday. What are you doing? I don't do younging. Sorry, I don't do aging. I only do younging. And each time I'm removing layers and layers and layers of those ego patterns and whatever, and being in my light. And my light is pure light. So is yours, pure light. So there isn't any age to pure light. There isn't. And so, very exciting. And I'm so excited for you to be on this journey with me, and with Jamie, and with Sam, and everyone else that I can't think of names right now. I'm in trouble. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. Because humanity's consciousness is rapidly shifting. Now, it's going to take a while for the news to catch up, because it's not accustomed to telling good news. Okay, it's into darkness and heaviness and the worst case scenarios and all of that. So you probably won't hear it from there. But you're going to find out on that consciousness scale, okay, that it's starting to rise. And you are responsible for that. Isn't that exciting that we're on this ride together? And so all you do, turn around, thumb first finger, thumb right hand, thumb first finger left, link them together, say I am, and just hold that vibration of this heart this size, your worth this size, your invincibility this size, and your freedom is just woof. That's it. And you hold it, preferably for 10 minutes. I do it for 2 to 3 hours. I'm asking you to do it for 10 minutes and see what happens. Isn't that exciting? So anyway, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm not sure if Tiffany, are you on the call by chance?
I am.
You are. Wonderful, Tiffany. So just my tech buddy here. Get a picture of you.
Do you want me to turn my video on?
Please, Tiffany, please, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there might be a few people on the call that didn't hear our interaction. And could you share with others the program that you had running and how long you had it running and all the things you did to overcome it? Would you do that for me? For others?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't feel safe and secure for I'm 45, so at any point in my life I never felt that. Um and I was always trying to find it in external things and doing personal development courses, and I just thought that I would find the one piece that would help me feel safe and secure. But I thought it was in like money.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after doing the process, yesterday evening. I went really deep into it, and yeah, I just feel like I I know that I have all of that just inside of me, and it's never going to be external.
Yep, exactly, Tiffany. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome what you allowed to have happen?
Yeah.
Super congrats, Tiffany. Super congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gilbert, just in case there's a couple of new ones on, his was crazy. Like, yes, he was on the call today, but his transformation was from something that took 10 or 15 minutes. I can't remember what it was. But Gilbert, do you mind sharing?
Can you hear me?
Can and see you, bud. Go for it.
Hey, thanks a lot, Don. Sorry, I got the blender going like crazy right now. Let me get to the farthest room I can real quick.
Okay.
Blender's not the best. It takes a little bit to blend. So I just leave it going for a bit. But yeah, no, this what you shared is mind blowing still. I can't like unfathomable and it's I don't know how to explain it. It's so powerful. I've been searching my whole life looking for stuff because also like Tiffany, I didn't feel like I was worthy because I wasn't chosen from my two brothers and sisters when we went through the whole child protective services. So I went through a lot of that trauma similar to hers. So I was always looking for external things outside of myself to feel that blissful state that you guys found that which is sustainable. Okay, so I went through ayahuasca. I went through a lot of things because after that car accident, my back was really bad, and it feels like every single day it's still realigning more and more. And I didn't realize how much trauma I really had from that car accident.
Right.
I guess it numbed it so much that I couldn't feel it until I went through the process with you guys. I only saw it on Facebook. I just scrolled and I saw Sam on the 15th day of live, and it was that one. You guys gave a lot of the nuggets, just like you gave today, and just based off of what you gave today is what I was running off of, and that wasn't even the process from those 3 videos you had online, and it was just powerful. Like I did feel the ego trying to come at me, but the more I just went in even more and I went in longer, and now I'm consistent at 3 times a day for 3 hour for an hour. So 3 hours a day because it's totally worth it. I'm not gonna allow anything else to get in my divinity. Phone calls, crazy thing is when you jump into your divinity time, that's when all the phone calls, that's when all the people decide to come and visit you. And no, no, no. Like I am making it to the point where just like if you see me meditating, walk away or join me. One of the two. Join me or just walk away and come back when I'm done. But that's how serious I am about this process because I've never, like I said, ayahuasca, weed for 19 years. All of that was just temporary. It numbed the pain temporary, but nothing. It's like you found the whole jigsaw puzzle. Like I was over here still looking for the fifth piece, going out to the 6 out of 1,000, and you found the 1,000. And so I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, it's kind of dumb for me to keep just going in circles in a pond with only one paddle. And when you got like this souped up like spiritual battle cruiser, like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump off this ship. So yes, I'm all in. I love you guys. I love the fact that you went above and beyond for your healing, Dawn, setting the example for all the other masculine divinities that are out here just searching for the thing you found. And we're so grateful. I'm so great. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm sure everybody feels it too. So thank you once again for allowing me to speak again. And it feels so good to find a platform where me speaking my truth doesn't get me in trouble. So I applaud you guys. I'm so grateful. And I hope I hope you guys see this. I'm over here in El Paso, Texas. I'm not sure if any of my friends are on right now, but I've been harassing you spiritually in the most beautiful, compassionate way possible. Uh, but whenever you're ready to stop, feeling all that trauma, all that pain, if you're done self-sabotaging, jump on. It's time to jump on. There's no better time than now. Thank you so much, Don, for letting me speak my truth. Love you, buddy.
Awesome. I want to just say something on something that he mentioned, and that is he mentioned meditation. This isn't meditation. You can do your meditation. This isn't meditation. This is divine focus.
Yes.
It's divine focus. Link your
Yes.
thumb, first finger, right hand, thumb, first finger, left hand. Link them together like a chain link fence. And what you're doing is you're repeating the neurocellular activation of who you truly are. That's not meditation. Okay? It's divine focus. And you're focusing on this divinity of who you are. That's it. And ego is going to do a thing like create, like a flat top, like it will do all of these crazy, crazy, crazy things to try to stop you, try to slow you down. And the biggest thing that I used to do was I used to argue with it. I used to argue with it. And every time I argued with it, it was winning. It was winning because it had my attention. So you turn your back to that ego energy, giving it double zero attention and focus on pure light that
Gilbert.
you guys have experienced in the last 12 hours. Okay? Just like Gilbert just mentioned, just like Tiffany just mentioned. And that's it. That's your divine focus. And you just hold it. Because in that, your heart's as large as the universe, your worth is tied into who you truly are, your divinity. It's not about your career. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about any of that. It's not about your children. It's not. Okay? So it's not meditation because you already have this. And you just hold this vibration. Come back and hold, come back and hold, come back and hold. And that's it. Okay? So there you have it. So thanks, Gilbert. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank
And
you for
all
the
that
correction.
time-
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I do that. Okay. And for Tiffany to have all of those things going on for her and trying to deal with them all the time and that they didn't work, even though she went to numerous different programs, and now it's gone. It was gone in, well, it was gone in a second. It's actually gone in a second. Literally a second. So even though it took us 2 hours for the whole process, it was 1 second, boom, it was gone. That's it. And if we spend hours and hours and hours on meditation trying to bring it back, that's the intellectual process. And the ego will try to get you to do things that are distractions from your light and seeing the divineness of who you are and that God energy that surrounds you, that's in and around and through you. That's what it is. That's what you're holding. Okay? So there you have it. Thank you, guys. And I'm tickled pink at what's happening for everybody and what's happened for, was it 87, 84, 87? 87 people today. Now think about this. Imagine every one of you holding your divinity, holding your divinity. And once again, I'm really in this state. I have difficulty in accessing memory because I don't do memory. Yeah, it's like I'm just walking and it comes to me. It's like this intuition. And so it's a different program completely. And the numbers are, as far as how high you can go, is unlimited. And so think about this. You being one of the key individuals to raise humanity's consciousness from its existing 210. Well, it was 210 when we started this process. Okay? To 700. Think about that. You're one of the 114 to go to 700 plus. 700 plus. And if you listen to Dr. Hawkins, he says, you know, that maybe 100, maybe. Most are like 5 and 10 out of 1,000. Well,
Don, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you have to.
Go ahead.
We haven't addressed, I just put something in the chat and something that happened to me this morning.
Please.
It's in the chat.
Okay, I rode my electric trike around for 6 months, flying 32 degrees. I have ever done this energy.
And I felt like I felt like I could go like 20 miles, but I was scared that I might do something. And it just like, like I felt like I keep going. So
now
can you
listen,
address
Dan.
the physical? Oh, sorry.
First of all, here's, that's unbelievably awesome. And that was the ego trying to get you to doubt. Did you get that, Dan?
Not really, because it's weird because the first time I did that.
No, I'm telling you, first of all,
Okay.
that's staggeringly awesome, Dan.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, when you had that fear of, can I go, or whatever it was, that was
Yeah.
the ego. That
Okay,
was
that's
the ego.
Yep.
Did you get that?
I do get it.
Okay? So
Mhm.
that's what it does. That's an example
Mm-hmm.
of the ego and how it works. It's going to try to trick you. It's going to try to, because like, here's an example, everyone. I'll just share just a little story. You know, there was a lady, she was 32. Janessa was her name. And she had spent more time in the hospital than out in the last year. Did you get that? More time in than out. And there was this guy that kept after me. Come on, Don. Just work. Like, please. So anyway, I decided to. And at that time, I was getting ready to leave to come to Mexico. And so I was just staying temporarily at a friend's house. And he had stairs, 2 sets of stairs. You go down this flight, then you go down this flight. Now, she was so frail, like frail. I'm thinking, oh, you know, I don't know if we can get her back up the stairs. And so she walked down the steps. It took us 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I didn't have too much on her as to what was going on. So I had to spend a lot of time asking questions. And anyway, when we were finished, I said, so Janessa, did you notice anything different? Oh my God, it's gone. I said, what's gone, Janessa? And she lifted up her blouse at the waist and said, I had a bulge on my stomach wall the size of my fist for 2 years. Look, it's gone. Now that's how powerful we are. And in the next year, She went to the hospital one day for a checkup. Now, how powerful is that? So, what Dan just said, he has no idea how far he can go on that electric trike. And the ego get in there. I wonder, can I get back? And what happens? That's the ego.
Exactly.
That's pulling that out of Dan to show you how the ego works. Any kind of doubt or second guessing or not sure or whatever. Okay? Pay zero, absolutely zero attention. Because I'm going to tell you all, you're only a half a day in. You haven't got an effing clue in the world how powerful you are yet. You're only just figuring it out. How absolutely powerful. And you damn well write them out, every single one of them that happens, to remind yourself of how powerful you are. Got that? Every single one of you. Okay? Clear?
Tiffany's raising her hand.
Tiffany.
Yeah, I haven't told you guys this yet, but I realized that my safe and security isn't so much about money as it is in my health. Because when I was 2 years old, my grandma died of cancer, and my grandpa from my mom's side would always tell me, be careful what you do in your life, because this is the same grandma that you got your red hair from.
Right.
And be careful because you might have those cancer genes, right? So, and he told me when I was like 7 years old or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've been going my entire life terrified of disease, and especially
That's a
cancer.
phobia. And was that a
Yep.
phobic level, Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've dedicated my entire career and all of that to learning health and teaching people, and I didn't realize that it was from that deep, deep fear. And
Yeah.
anyway,
Now just stop for a sec. Stop. I'm going to correct you.
So,
It's not deep, deep, deep.
not anymore.
All I'm saying, you said it in the way that it's so deep, like hard to get out. No, it's like recognizing it, say, nope, gone. So
Yeah. Well,
just
okay,
just
so
to give you an idea on the language. That's all I'm saying.
oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha. Anyway, so last year, November, my brother died of cancer. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it's true. But on the other hand, I mean, I was kind of thinking like, well, maybe he got the gene and I didn't. Well, anyway, so I took your process last month, and honestly, I was triggered by you, and I didn't fully do the process because I just felt triggered and like wounded, or my wound was triggered. And anyway, and so then I was going through all these calls every day, and I finally realized just about 4 days ago that I have zero, absolutely zero fear on like cancer or any disease anymore.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's a big testimony that I haven't shared with you guys yet.
Well, we got it now. Awesome. That's awesome,
Yeah.
Tiffany. You know, I just, that brings to mind, I lost my wife to cancer in February of 2014, and then my wife, my daughter, 3 months later got cancer and died on May 2015. But there was a tug of war between Shelley's husband and me as to her treatment. And it was causing my daughter too much stress and strain. And so I let her do it his way, and his way killed her. But in the process, she had not been out of bed except to go to the bathroom for 3 months. for 3 solid months. And so anyway, I couldn't handle it anymore. I asked Shelley if she would please let me work with her. So she did. And that, after I left that day, she lived out in the country in Prince Edward Island. She got out of bed. Now, she had only been out of bed to go to the bathroom and back to bed. And then somebody would feed her and whatever. And that went on for 3 months. And that day, when I worked with her and then left, she got up, cleaned the kitchen and the dining room, and walked down to the shore, which was about American numbers, half a mile, and back. The next day, she got up, cleaned the rest of the house, and went with her husband into town, which is 18 miles, 30 kilometers, something along that line, and did some shopping. There was another lady that was in New York, and I was doing a program. Actually, what it was I took 10 people with cancer through my process. I did it on December 20th, 2019. I just put it out there. If anybody get cancer, I'm doing this experimental, see how it works. And one of them, she was out of New York, and she hadn't been out of bed for 3 months, kind of like Shelley. And she couldn't come. She couldn't come from New York to Vancouver. And so she was in pretty rough shape, so I did it with her individually. That day, she, what was it she said? She jogged 13 kilometers and jogged up a hill. And she hadn't been out of bed for 3 months. That was the next day. Do you have any idea how powerful you are? First of all, to create a cancer. Second of all, to do the opposite. To do the opposite. That's how powerful you are. And we end up using that power because the ego has got us tricked to do this with it. Because like Tiffany or whoever, like getting those shocks, especially pre-reason, and we make up all these fictitious stories and we get locked into them. Okay? And actually believe them. And just so you know, those of you that were on the program, the reason they were all gone is because they were all an illusion. None of them are real. The only thing that's real is the knowing of who you truly are, which is your divinity, not your name and not your stature and not your career. It's none of that. It's your divinity. And that's who we truly are. That's it. And so, like I said, within 15 months, I lost my wife and my daughter to cancer. Both of them wanted to do it a different way than what I was doing. And so I honor and respect free will, even for something like that. And as difficult as it was, and as difficult as it is, my son called me the other day, and he had been sober for a long time because he worked with me, and I knew he was drinking, and it's like, that's a tough way, bud. That's a tough way to deal with life. I didn't say that to him. I just let him do his thing. And so exciting when you think about Tiffany and what she said just the day before. about all this insecurity and couldn't find it, and it was all la 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 la, and all of the places, all of the programs she took over and over and over again, and new ones and whatever, none of them worked, and it's all gone since this morning, and it was gone right away, actually. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And yeah, like Gilbert said, it took me 44 years to find that golden nugget that the divine kept leading me to perfect this process for you. And I trust that you will honor and respect it and do something as simple as spending 10 minutes 3 times a day. 10 minutes 3 times a day. Yes, I do 3 hours. I'm not asking you to do 3 hours. Okay, I'm asking you to do 10 minutes 3 times a day. Just link your fingers, say I am, and hold the vibration of your divinity. That's it. You're not keeping track, you're not taking notes, you're not doing any of that. That's it. Boom. Okay? And see what happens. Congrats, Tiffany. Congrats, Gilbert. And congrats, who was the other one? Dan, that shared. And congrats to the rest of you. All of you that were on that call. It's awesome. Literally awesome. Let's make sure you're one of those 114. So that you don't even have to listen to the news or read the papers or any of that bullshit of all those stories and all the wars, threats of war. I think there's 12 or 22 wars that are happening at this time. Okay? Well, we're not going to stop them that way. We're going to stop them this way. Because when the vibration rises, that low vibration stops. That's it. That's it. So, you ready? Hop on board, and away we go. So congrats, everybody. And really excited for all of you that have experienced this today. And I trust that you will deeply honor and deeply respect what you received. And give back by being all of who you are. That's it. That's how you give it back. I am going to do my infinite awareness, my divine focus, sorry. I used to call it infinite awareness. My divine focus for a minimum of 10 minutes, 3 times a day, and keep track of the changes in bullet form. You need to keep track, because the ego is going to try to get you to minimize it or forget it. But by what's that? Okay, love in action. My hip no longer squeaks. Dagman.
That's me. Good morning.
Okay, you got to
I'm
show
in
your face.
Ontario. Okay, hang
What?
on. Hang on. I'm getting there. Hi, good morning.
Hi, Dagmat. Tell me.
I'm in Ontario. It's 10 degrees. Woohoo!
Well,
Yes,
I've had
a sore hip, I guess, for 2 years after I left a pretty yucky relationship. Totally happy about it. And I woke up this morning.
Just wait. I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
This is for Al. Is that
I beg your pardon? Yep.
I need to ask you a question for the benefit of others, okay?
Yes.
Is that a left hip or right hip?
Left hip.
Uh-huh. So the left has to do with our emotions, our energy, our love, and
And I
Okay?
suppressed my emotions for years.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And it showed up in your hip.
Oh, and in my eyes, I lost central vision like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
So
that's one. You didn't want to look at what you were seeing.
I've been told that, but I didn't understand what I didn't want to look at. And I think if anything, yes, probably, but relationship with me, I think.
Well, yes, that's true, but you will have an external manifestation of that.
And boy, did I.
Yes. And so tell us what happened since this morning.
Well, I did my 10 minutes when I got up this morning. And even last night, it's like, I guess the best thing I could say is I don't have any thoughts. It's like I have this blanks. I'm nothing. I'm just looking. I'm like a little baby that's just observing without any verbiage behind it. So I find that very interesting. Yeah, yes, it is.
It is truly awesome.
It's fantastic.
Chatter.
Well, that's what I like because I've been doing this work. I'm also a spiritual teacher. Because of my, in other words, I didn't mind losing the vision because I had to lose my vision to really gain my vision. That's what I often say. And it made me see the world in a whole different way. So it actually saved me somewhere.
Okay,
so now,
this time.
Yep.
You damn well get back and get your vision back. You
yes,
gave
please.
It up. You gave it up. You had a reason to give it up.
I think I didn't want to see myself.
What I don't give a damn who it was you didn't want to see.
Okay.
You gave your system a command to give up your vision.
Not consciously.
I don't give a damn about conscious or unconscious. This is not about blaming. This is about you recognizing how powerful you are. You created your hip and you created your poor eyesight. Okay? Now, if you did that, guess what you can... What's that?
I agree with you completely.
Perfect. Now you get and reverse those both things.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay, got it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the ego is always listening and trying to find ways for you to be small. Trying to find ways. LK, got rid of my cane. Like, seriously, you guys. Seriously. Now you guys start loading these up and putting them in the chat so that you can live off each other's amazingness. Okay? It's important. It's very important. Okay? Got that?
Yes.
Gilbert with the miracles. I could stand here for 10 days. Well, actually, I'll tell you what I did for everybody. A way I had of doing a divine focus. I was in a room, fair size room. It was a kitchen, living room, bedroom when I first came to the Philippines. And what I did was I decided once to recall my miracles. I had 104 and I put them on a card about 4 inches by 5 inches. And then I got them printed out like I did a header, and then I'd put the words underneath it. And I stuck them on that wall. And one of the cards was about me impregnating 1 billion ETs. So one card had that much on. So I had this 108, 111 or something like that, 107 cards, and I stuck them on the wall. And soon as I woke up, I looked at these, like the 68 times I changed the weather was just on one card. Okay. So there was probably, 500 or 800 altogether if you took them all out. But they were all, you know, like the guy that saved $615 million in 6 minutes, or the guy that had arthritis for 20 years and it was gone 3 days later. Like, like, so I want you to do that. It's important to write out these miracles that you are going to be creating, that's already created. Every one of you were a miracle today. Every one of you were a miracle of what you did and allowed yourself to receive. That's a miracle. And so for each of you, like we're just talking right now, write those out and preferably share them. Preferably, yes, Tiffany, it was your fear of cancer that you created cancer. That's how the ego works. Get you to be afraid of snakes. And then you keep finding these snakes. Okay? That's how the ego works. So, yes, Janet, we are invincible. We are. And it's damn well time you found that out. And if I'm invincible, then I am powerful. And if I'm powerful, what can I create with this power that's different than the ego power? Okay, got it? Not exciting. It's not exciting. And I want you to share these in groups so you can, each of you can feed off each other. And then there's no bad days because you will just get back listening to somebody sharing their story. Clear? Got it? So there you have it. I want to hear from you in a way that everyone else can hear from you. I know what these are going to be like, so I don't need to hear them. But I want you to share them so we can all enjoy listening to how effing powerful you all are. Okay? So you have yourself a wonderful day, morning, evening, night, whatever. And super congrats to all of you. Got it?
Got it.
Take care, everyone. God bless.
Thank you. Woo!
Yes. We were waiting for that. Super awesome to hear all you guys and your transformation, and you know, we're looking forward to hear all of the different updates that come. And like Don was saying, it is really about recognizing and remembering how powerful you are. And I didn't realize how important it is until the other day, because I did a one-on-one with Don over a year ago, and I'm scrolling through our WhatsApp chat, and I'm like looking at the updates because he had us update him every single day. And at the time I was married, and my wife was updating him about some of the things we were doing. And I'll share with you guys a couple of the things that happened. So one day she was talking about how I was able to talk to trees. The other day she's talking about how I was able to control the wind. You know, and like try to use the reason and intellect for some of the things like that. Just the other day, we're driving to Divinity Mountain, and I had heard Dawn and Jamie both talk about changing the weather. And I'm like, dude, I want to do that. So it started to actually get cloudy. It was me, Jamie, Nina, I think it's just us three. And we're driving, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get into my divine focus and just see it clear up. Literally, not even 3 minutes later, I kid you not, it was dark, stormy clouds. In 3 minutes, it was completely clear. And so I'm not saying this for anything other than reminding you of your own power, and writing these updates. Whenever you're having a day where the ego is coming in, you come back to it and you realize, okay, this is just the ego trying to convince me of my own true infinite power. And so, Janet, we are invincible. You hit it right on the nail right on the head. And so we're excited to continue to share this message with all of the right people. We know that they're going to come, and just like you guys have been attracted to our community. And I did promise you guys we're gonna show you guys a little bit about the financial piece. So I'm gonna have Will share. The website's literally 99% done. We're waiting on 2 testimonials, and that should be ready. And that'll be connected to the affiliate portal, the membership, and all of that. And so Will's gonna share the screen right now. We'll show you a little snippet of what we have as of right now. So So as you guys see, we have the I Am Divinity process, the membership. It's going to encompass the Forex fund, the crypto fund, the one-on-one with Don, the entire membership, right? So we're going to make sure that you guys get compensated for everything. The one last thing other than what we already have is going to be the smart contracts. And so that's a really cool addition that I don't really know any other company, or I should say community, that does this. And so just a little sneak peek on that. Basically, with the smart contracts, as soon as somebody signs up for the membership or any of the other, anything that they are purchasing, you guys are going to get paid to the crypto bank automatically, instantaneously. Just like we have an instant transformation, guess what? You guys get instant pay. So we're super excited to roll this out for you guys. We just need a couple more days, maybe like another 48 hours, and it should be good to go. But who's excited for the new rollout? If you're excited for the rollout, drop an I am. Heck yes. Gilbert, I think that needs a Gilbert howl.
Right on the, as soon as you open the page, woo! It probably scares some people off. I'm not sure about that, bro. But
Awesome. Yes. So we ended up actually going with, we had someone originally that we were working with, and that's kind of why it took a little bit longer. We were going to work with this guy that did the incomation stuff first. But then I was like, yo, we need to work with David. He's my boy. I've worked with him for several years now, and he actually went through the divinity process. So it was just a no-brainer. Like, you know, we actually invested a little bit more to make sure that it was done the right way, and that someone that's gone through the process was having their hands on it. And so we're super excited. It should be done before the bull run. Yes, I mean, kind of the bull run's starting to ramp up a little bit. So we should be good to go, Janet. Just stay posted. We'll definitely send out an email. We're also trying to just transfer all of the old affiliates that you guys signed up. We had a little issue with that. The person that was running the Post Affiliate Pro was kind of being a little bit stubborn about giving us access to that because we stopped working with her. But we do have access now. So we're just transferring all of that to the new system. And so just stay updated. We will email you guys. We're just going to get those last couple of pieces. But just know that it's going to get done in divine timing. You know, it's all going to get done at the perfect time. So with that being said, we appreciate you all for being a part of this mission. We're super excited for what's to come and what's happening. And yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for being here. Michael says the most significant work that anyone can do to increase market return is self-work. Really understanding yourself and how you think can give you an edge that others in the market don't have. I love that, but we don't have to work on ourselves. We are already infinite, and there's really no other process that gives you this level of awareness and this level of power. So we have the best quote unquote training system. If there's no other company that's doing this, we're gonna have the best partners, and we're looking to grow this and to get all the right people on this mission. So thank you all for being here. All the love. I am Divinity, and so are you.